He's a larger-than-life character. This profession was filled with them when I first started out, and all you have to say is Bill, and everybody knows who you're talking about. Tonight, I'm introducing Bill Brandt, who I adore and have been friends with for almost 40 years. And it's a great honor for me to be able to do this. I think it's going to be a special night. He's a fantastic member of any organization he's involved with. He's been actively involved in New York Institute of Credit for decades.
Bill Brandt, great person, great individual, certainly a great executive, has been a supporter of NYIC for many years, has been a good friend. He has been a panelist for us many times, always good guidance on what he did with all the measures that he did in reference to bankruptcy, trustee work, and he deserves this award, and we wish him all the best of what is in the future for him.
Bill Brandt is very much cut from the cloth of the old-fashioned restructuring professional. He has a boutique firm. It has offices around the country, but it's still small by comparison with an organization like Alex or FTI or Alvarez & Marcel. And he has the great talent of working on smaller cases, the kind I grew up with, and the mega cases. And sounds like I'm being shot. I'm not being shot. There's a guy back here slamming a door. It's just wonderful that we're honoring him tonight. congratulations to all the honorees and to all of you. I mean, can you believe it? We're here, we're not wearing masks, and we're only a little afraid. Only a little. But they checked our vaccination status, we're all good. By the way, Judge Trust, the Queen does this. Okay? Just saying. And by the way, if anybody knows what she is carrying in that purse, please tell me. I can't. What? Cash? Can't be. Keys? Maybe a lipstick, I don't know. Anyway, let's get down to business here. Oops. Behave, iPad. There we go. So, it's truly my pleasure to be introducing Bill Brandt, who is a guy who actually doesn't need an introduction. We're almost done. We're almost done. When it's time, you can rise. Okay. But I'm confident that in performing this task, I'm going to be able to tell you things you don't know. And so I think my job is secure. Bill formed one of the oldest and most prominent restructuring firms in the country. And I can tell you, having started my boutique law firm, I can assure you that it takes a very special personality to go off on your own. Bill and I did that against large odds, and we both made it work. It takes courage to do a startup advisory firm and to separate yourself from massively larger competitors like you. And in the bankruptcy press, despite that he's got a relatively small firm, Bill's name frequently appears as a consultant, as a trustee, a CRO, and his advice is widely sought. He currently serves as the Chapter 11 trustee in the largest cross-border Chapter 11 case in the history of the world. He's the trustee for a company called China Fisheries Group, and he's also the Chapter 11 trustee for a very large railroad in southern Colorado. He lectures all over the world. I've heard him all over the world. Outside of the United States, he sprinkles what he says with Yiddish. Even though he's Irish, he loves Yiddish. He said to me, "What is this fakakta award?" But that's another story. He was one of 17 commissioners on the ABI Chapter 11 Reform Commission that I co-chaired with Bob Keach. And you had to be the best of the best to get into that group, which included the drafters of the original bankruptcy code and leading practitioners from the most powerful firms in the world. He served not once but several times as an ABI director and is a member of the New York City Bankruptcy Conference Board. He's a member of the executive committee of the bankruptcy section of the Commercial Law League of America and served on its National Government Affairs Committee, as well as three, as a member of the board of directors of the San Francisco Bay Area Bankruptcy Forum. And he not only advises clients, but his advice is also sought by presidents, members of Congress, mayors, governors, and attorneys general, and I'm not exaggerating. And he's been a chief advisor to Hillary and Bill Clinton, pre-White House, post-White House, and he's even been summoned to Camp David. Who in this room besides him has ever been in Camp David. In August of 1996, he was with President Clinton on the stage, or as he likes to say, on the bema, when Clinton accepted the Democratic nomination for a second term as president. How cool is that? I mean, I can't even relate to it. And he's a member of the President's National Finance Board during the Clinton administration. Bill and his wife, Patrice, and Jackie, my wife, and I went to Normandy right before the pandemic. And we were walking through that very famous cemetery. And Bill told me that he was there with President Reagan in 1984 on the occasion of the 40th anniversary of D-Day. So he was with President Reagan in Normandy and President Clinton for his nomination. And then he starts to talk about being at Valley Forge with Abe Lincoln. He likes to embellish. Bill has made many contributions to society at large. As part of his long-standing commitment to higher education and to civic endeavors, he chaired the National Advisory Council for the Institute of Government Studies at the University of California at Berkeley, serving a total of 12 years. And he was not only a member of that board, but he was chairman of that board. He was a member of the Board of Trustees of Loyola University in Chicago from 2007 to 2016, and he is a life trustee of Fenwick High School in Oak Park, Illinois. Commemorating his work while chair of the Illinois Finance Authority and a trustee, he received the Alpha Sigma Nu Magus Medal Award in 2020. He's also a director of Tina's Wish, which last night held a dinner in his honor, private dinner. And the room was just filled with love. Even Elizabeth Warren zoomed in to add to the love. Bill was also involved in drafting several of the amendments to the Bankruptcy Code, which became part of the revisions of 2005. And when we worked together in the Chapter 11 Reform Commission, we realized that although the mega case dominated the headlines, smaller Chapter 11s dominated the bankruptcy courts. And you know what I'm talking about. We realized almost 90% of Chapter 11s filed nationwide involved debtors with assets of $10 million or less. And most of those cases resulted in liquidations because they were too expensive. And the owners of the debtors didn't want to file until it was too late, because they understood that they would lose their business. And by waiting so long, they made it impossible to salvage anything. So our commission came up with the idea that there should be a streamlined, inexpensive, special chapter for these small businesses. And it was Bill, and Bill alone, who shepherded that legislation through Congress, and the result is Subchapter 5. I was on the scene, and I can assure you that without Bill, that legislation would never have passed, never. So in a real sense, Subchapter 5 is Bill's legacy. It's his accomplishment that rises above all the other things he's done. That really rises above everything else. And it's his to be proud of. Subchapter 5 will be with us for generations. And it will be especially important as we enter into the next recession. And it will be even more important to the vibrancy of America's economy. Now, it's no secret that Bill is ill. I have known about his illness since early on, and Bill and I speak often. And I can tell you he is amazing. He is facing this illness exactly as he has faced everything else in his life, with bravery and with courage. He never complains, not once has he complained. He only worries about the people around him, especially Patrice and his family, but not himself. And in Patrice, he has the best partner, indeed a kindred spirit. Not his better half, but his better three-quarters. She is extraordinary. She is his rock, and she is the love of his life. And through all of this, Bill has not lost his sense of humor. When I ask, Bill, is there anything I can do for you? His answer is absolutely. Find Dan Aykroyd, or Eddie Murphy, or anyone, and ask them if they want to trade places. Why? You didn't see the movie, Trading Places? For those of you who don't, never mind. God bless him. God bless you. Ooh, good, you're smiling. And please join me in welcoming our hero tonight, Bill Brandt, to accept this Spectacular Award and our admiration and our love.
Thank you all. I want to thank Al for that marvelous introduction, friendship. I apologize for the voice, but ALS does that to you. I know that Judge Truss said that he had his kids introduce him. I had my stepson, as you can tell. Worked out real well. I'd also like to congratulate the other recipients tonight, Judge Truss and Michael Eisenman. My hat is off to both of them for their well-deserved recognition by our industry this evening and for all their contributions. I'd also like to extend my gratitude to the NYIC, its board, Harvey Gross, and Sarah Coons, who, if anyone needs some sympathy tonight, it's not me, it's Sarah. And all the others at the NYIC for their tireless work in advancing the work of our profession, our knowledge base, and our networking capabilities. As Al said, I'd like to thank my wife Patrice as well, and the rest of my family for being here tonight, and for putting up with almost 50 years of street travel on a daily basis as I went from city to city trying to save jobs, get creditors back their money, and generally have a good time. I'm used in our business to people saying to you, I wish I could have met you under different circumstances. It never bothered me until my mother-in-law said the day of my wedding. Patrice and I like to joke that we've been married 41 years, but actually together about 4, given my travel schedule, what we've done. So that's why she can put up with me. As many of you know, and Al alluded, I have been diagnosed with ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. The malady for which there is no cure and no treatment. So it's with deep sadness that I report that, and I pass along the news, that my time on the public stage and in this industry is drawing to a close. I'm going to have to withdraw in the next couple of months from public life and from the valuable work of our profession. I'm going to address this with as much grace and dignity as I can muster, And I'll be able to do that with the support of so many friends I see here tonight, my family and others. You've been great. Hang in there. This is not a disease I wish on my worst enemy. Well, so maybe we'll get through that. But I leave the stage knowing, as a pioneer in this industry, I've been in it now 47 years, I helped build a true powerhouse of a firm in DSI. And the very talented senior management of that firm, who've been together in general for more than 30 years, are going to take the firm on to the next level without me, and take its endeavors to greater heights and greater distinction in our industry. And I couldn't be happier to leave this wonderful firm in the hands of so many capable people. To everybody else in this audience, I enjoy working with all of you. Over the last 40 years, I've crossed paths with many of you. Some are happy, some not so happy. They used to ask me if I had a stage name. I did have a stage name. It was Shithead, because everybody said, hey, Shithead, off the stage. So I get that part. But I will tell you that I thank you for all the help and work over the years, for all the support. I'm going to be brief because I haven't got much of a voice. My time is coming to a conclusion in the industry, and it's very kind of you all to recognize me tonight as you do. So I want to raise a glass to all of you and to the industry. Here's to restructuring and saving jobs, getting people back their money, and generally doing something the world economy truly needs. Thank you. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.